Hello, I'm Dr. Ron England, and we're going to talk a little bit about templates in Visual Studio. This will be a relatively short video, but the concept of templates is very simple. Suppose you've created this web application or some sort of project that you would like to be able to use that base code to start up another project with. Well, the nice thing is that we've got this capability of doing this relatively easy. You can go up here to File and to Export Template, which is one of the in the File menu. And what you can do is you can say, and this gives you some options here, but you can say, you know what, I'd like to create a project template. And in that case, the template's going to be available to you to create a project from, and it will essentially be a copy of the existing project, which is really kind of nice. You can also make templates out of existing items, which is nice also. So if you have a specific page or something, and you want to be able to duplicate that specific page back in other projects using the Add New Item dialog box, you've got that capability of actually exporting items. Well, let's do this and export a project template here. And we're going to call this template base template 1. We don't have multiple base templates. And this is a standard, we're going to call this the standard base template with user management and database using single table, which is what I've actually done in this specific template. I can have an icon, I can put the whole thing together. I'm not going to use an icon, and this will be relatively straightforward. That exports it. Let's go ahead and export the guy, and if you see, you'll see that it's now in the exported templates. If you look over in a Visual Studio, you actually can see that there's, now this was in the exported templates, but if you look in the templates, you have project templates, and underneath C#, in this case, you don't have any templates, but you could have templates there. Now, in this case, you can see that this was the template that I just created. It's over here in the basic project templates. Now let's go over and let's create a new project. Okay, so the old project, we're going to create a new project here. And it's going to be a Visual C# web project. And what we'd like to be able to see is the list of potential templates that we have here. So what we need to be able to do here is we need to be able to have that template so that you can see it. Well, by the way, while I'm looking at this, I want to say you've also got lots of other types of templates that you have. So if you were to want to look at some of the templates that are available on the internet, you've also had templates that are available there. But this is the list of C# templates that are installed. And you'll notice in this case, I don't have that template yet. So what I need to do is show you how to make that a template available in your list of templates. Okay. I also want to go through and show you, you got the template menu right here. And you can see here's all those templates. Now notice, okay, base template 1. Right there. That's the one that I just created, by the way, base template 1. I want to be able to make an application from base template 1. So, how did that actually work? Well, let's go back over here to our project manager, to our file dialog where you can see the files. I'm in templates, in project templates, and you can see base template 1 right here in the root directory. Now, that's great because I exported that, and it's going to be right here because I exported it and it put it in the correct location for this. But what if I want to use this base template in projects that are not specifically on this machine? Well, this is relatively straightforward to do. You just take this base template 1.zip file, okay, you create, okay, you copy that and you put it into the templates, project templates directory, and you're going to have access to that base template wherever you need to be able to create a project from that template. Go one step further here. I'm going to select base template 1. I'm going to now use this for a project, and this will be a project that I'm going to be following through the course of the next 10 to 15 lectures, which will be what we're going to call the SMATA, which is Stormwater Management and Design Aid Online 2013 project. Okay, so we're going to call this, I'm actually going to make it SMATA 2013 project. So this is going to be the SMATA, we'll call it the SMATA 2013 project because that's the year. And I click OK, and voila, it's going to create that project, which will be essentially a complete copy of the existing brace project that I had. and then I can be able to start working directly off of that project. So we'll wait a second here. I'm going to go ahead and pause this so you don't have to sit there and wait through the whole thing because it's doing it. Oh, it was fast enough to get it done. Now, if you look at this SMATA 2013 project, you'll see that the all the different files and everything that I had in that base project are now right here. And if I wanted to, I could actually start the whole thing up. I'm going to do one thing here before I do this. I'm going to go to Site Master where it says, your logo here. I'm going to put this as SMATA Online. That's the name of the application. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the start, which will bring this up. Okay, got some build errors. Okay, I said no because I never really want to do that. I always want to see what those errors are going to be. And what it is saying is that there's a few specific, well, it's kind of hard to see here. There's a few references that I needed to fix here. These are going to be relatively straightforward to start working through them. Okay, in this case, we've got some basically namespaces and assembly references that are missing here. We'll go ahead and also work through making sure that those references are available. And I'll have some future lectures that will actually show how to get through those specific references. Also notice I'm using a tool that is kind of nice that allows me to be able to jump directly to the different errors that I have here. Thank you very much. And you'll actually see some corrections of how to deal with this in later lectures. This is really about being able to save something as a template and bring it back in. Thank you very much and good programming. Hello. I'm continuing on with this this template lecture. And as you can, and when I left it, it was that you could see that, well, I was able to put the template in there and create the project. However, I was missing a bunch of references, and now I'm going to show you how that actually works. So, what was happening here is if you look at through all the different errors, you're going to find that it can't find specific references like the system web optimization. Those references are missing. And where that actually occurs here, if you look in the Solution Explorer, is you have this list of references here, and some of those references are missing. Now, let's first look at where those references come from. If we go back to the original application where we got those from, which was a project, which was database sample 1, and I'm going to go ahead and open that. We have the same list of references because it was copied over as part of, as a template from this. And those references are all included right here. The same set of references that you have right here. Well, if you look at actually where those references are, you can hit the references, go down here and look at the properties and look at the path of that. But what you'll find is that those are in a directory called packages. So let's come over here and let's look at these to the projects where they're actually included in the projects window, and you'll have this directory called packages, which will have a list of all the different packages that are referenced within here. Now, if you want to go ahead and get this whole thing up and operational at once, you simply copy this packages directory over to your new one. So you copy and paste it. Don't cut and paste it because otherwise you'll kill your old one. Okay, and now those packages are now existing in here. The path is a relative path, so if I come back over here to open the project that I just made from the template, okay, I'll now bring that project up, and now we'll run it again. Now these references still have this location where they're at, but that location is actually within the packages, and those files will now be there. So if I go ahead and run this, now we may still have a few namespace issues that are associated with the application, but they should be minor to take care of because now the primary namespace is SMATA 2013 because that's the name of the new project. However, you'll see that with Firebug running, now you can see that I've actually got an operational project SMATA Online. And all that was relatively straightforward, just with that one little fix of moving those packages over. Now, one thing about those bringing those packages over is you might have a lot of references here that are within your default that are not necessarily being used, and you may want to remove those. And there is a ability to do that. There is ability to remove unused references. If you remove an unused reference that actually needs to be brought back in, it's relatively straightforward because you can also add a reference. So a lot of this is relatively easy to manipulate. So hopefully this is very useful for you getting this type of project up and running. This really makes life easier when you can take an existing project and use it to create a new project. Thank you very much, and good programming.